support Larry Schwartz. And you know, when I talk about Larry to people, you know, I compare him to Waldo. Now, we never know where Waldo is, but either do we know where Larry is. I thought I was a good campaigner, but I've never seen anybody campaign like this guy. And I have to do one thing. Larry, you okay? Larry, I want you to meet the show. You look so familiar. We haven't seen you in a year and a half. Okay, Larry, stop. I just wanted to make sure they knew each other because I know Larry's not home a lot. And we know where he is because he posted on Facebook everywhere he goes. So there's no chance of Larry having an affair. He's out there in the public eye. But we know Larry's working hard, and you know, Larry's a good guy. He's going to make a great judge for this county, and we know he's a great lawyer. And what Larry has is the common sense and the compassion to be a judge. And that's what I like about Larry. You know, Larry came to me a few months ago and said, "Paul, I'm running for judge." And I said, you know, you already have all the qualities of being a great judge. Now you got to go out there and sell yourself to the public. And that's what he's doing. And the public is learning about Larry, and they're liking Larry. And I'm confident that Larry will be the next county court judge for us. One of the things I have to do now, this is not in the plan, believe me. You'll have to wait. All right, what I'm going to do now is announce some of the elected officials that are here. One of them being Judge William Nelson is not here, because he had to go into the hospital for a little minor procedure. He's okay. He's home now resting. But he wanted to make sure that everybody knew that he was 100% behind Larry. And I think that's an endorsement. So he sent his regrets he couldn't be here, but we wanted to know that where he stood. We have Robert D'Amelio, the mayor of West Haverstraw.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to stand up here today before all of you and introduce my friend Larry Schwartz. I have to say, when Larry called me and asked me to speak here tonight, I was a little surprised and thinking, why me? Well, simply because so many people respect and admire this man. I thought there'd be a list of people that he'd want to speak on his behalf. So I was very flattered, thank you, Larry, for asking me or honoring me with this speech. But when I sat back and I realized how long Larry and I have known one another, it really made perfect sense. I started out in the DA's office 23 years ago, and that's when I met Larry Schwartz. I had the great fortune of meeting Assistant Public Defender Larry Schwartz at the time. Now, though he was my adversary, I don't think we ever thought of it that way. We quickly became friends. We worked in some of the same courts, and he was very kind to me. I was a young assistant district attorney, unfamiliar with the process, and unfamiliar or just learning criminal law. Larry was a mentor to me. He was a teacher. He educated me not only on how to be a criminal lawyer, but how to be most importantly respected by one's peers. And he did this by example. I always admired the manner in which Larry spoke to his public defender clients. He had such compassionate understanding and so much patience as they would speak to him. And many, actually most, of them could not possibly appreciate the great fortune they had that they were assigned such an exceptional attorney to represent them. Now, through the years, I have referred close friends and family members to Larry for representation to handle various civil matters. And I did so because I knew he was more than competent to handle the complex legal issues, but more importantly, he takes care of his clients. He is very unique. He listens and truly is interested in what people have to say. Unlike most attorneys, including myself, he doesn't necessarily need to hear himself talk. He'd rather listen. That's a very unique characteristic in a lawyer. He is kind and generous and an understanding person. And I have to tell you, the feedback that I received from those friends and families that I referred was, he is unbelievable. I feel so much better knowing that he's taking care of me. These comments and remarks are not unique in the slightest. These sentiments are echoed by anyone who comes into contact with Larry. He's decent, he's fair, he's kind, he's ethical. Now, Larry called me when he decided to run for the Rockland County Court Judge, and his excitement and enthusiasm was literally coming through the phone. And while he's been campaigning, I have checked in with him throughout while he's on the campaign trail. And while I expected to get the typical response of, oh my God, this is so exhausting, I can't wait for this to be over, I didn't realize how much time this would take, my response, or his response to my questions were, I am loving this. He would tell me, and I would run into him in every supermarket, every place I went, it was like he was there, and he would tell me, I have been meeting such dedicated people who have been giving so much back to this community that but for running for this position, I would never have had the opportunity to meet these people. I have to tell all of you here today that every person that Larry has met has left a very lasting impression, and that's what makes him different. As a former prosecutor and now a defense attorney, when I think of the recipe for the perfect judge, I think of someone, of course, who has knowledge of the law. I also think of someone who has respect and appreciation for the people that appear in front of him, whether it be attorneys, whether it be public advocates, law enforcement, probation officer, whomever. I think of someone who could be stern, forceful, and commanding. I think of someone who has compassion for victims and their families, as well as those family members that can be destroyed by their own family members' criminal behavior. I think of someone who listens. I think of someone who's efficient, who's organized, and who's respectful of the rules and procedures. And that is my friend, Larry Schwartz. Now, no one should underestimate Larry. No one should mistake his kind, gentle nature for someone who is weak, because that is clearly not the case. He's smart, he's honest, he's fair, and he's a man of great integrity. And that is why it is my great pleasure to introduce and support my friend Larry Schwartz for Rockland County Judge.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Beth. And I thank all of you, my friends and colleagues, for joining me today and for this wonderful show of support for my candidacy for Rockland County Court Judge. As many of you know, the county court is where felony criminal cases are handled. And next year there will be 2 vacancies. And I hope to be one of the 2 candidates who will succeed Judges Victor Alfieri and Charles Apothecary on the county court bench. And so it is fitting that the venue of this event is this beautiful room with a dramatic view of the existing Tappan Zee Bridge that has served our community well for years, but will be retiring soon. And with that, there's also a view of the new Tappan Zee Bridge under construction, which will replace the retiring bridge and soon begin to serve our community with a few enhancements. In any event, as many of you know, this is the first time I am running for an elected office. And I must tell you, I could not have anticipated what this experience would be like. Fortunately, many of our county's political and community leaders, and many of you here tonight have given me some sage advice. The advice I hear from so many of you is, get out there, go to events, talk to people, listen to people, connect with people. And I have taken that to heart. And I go to as many events as the laws of physics permit. And I talk to lots of people. But mostly I listen. I listen to community leaders. I listen to mental health professionals. I listen to members of law enforcement and to crime victims and their advocates. I listen to probation officers. I listen to parents. And I listen to educators. And I listen to those who are accused of committing crimes. And I listen to lawyers. And it is the perception of many from different communities, professions, and walks of life that the playing field in the criminal justice system is not level. And it is unfairly tilted in favor of one side or the other. Now, let's be real. We all view the world through the lenses of our lives and experiences, and judges are no different. However, justice can only be fairly dispensed when diligent effort is made to keep the field level for all, regardless of social status, skin color, the accent with which one speaks, or the uniform one wears. Interestingly, many people I speak with ask little about the specifics of my 30-plus years of experience as a private lawyer, as a public defender, and as a prosecutor. They're more focused on the type of person I am. If I can understand and appreciate their concerns, and whether they believe I will do my best to keep the field level. What I have heard really boils down to this, and it is simple. People say they want a county court judge who listens, who pays attention, who cares about doing the right thing as she or he believes it to be, and who respects those who appear in court. That is the county court judge I will endeavor to be. I will strive to be fair and compassionate, to show respect for all who appear before me, and to keep the field as level as I am able to. Now, I've also gotten some nuts and bolts advice about campaigning. A few of you in this room have encouraged me to use the slogan, Schwartz for the courts. Catchy, but a little flippant. And believe it or not, some have encouraged me to adopt the campaign slogan, May the Schwartz be with you. Now I know what you're thinking, Larry, although that's a perfect slogan for a serious-minded fellow like you, it's a line from a movie that's almost 30 years old, and you need to attract younger voters. Well, although there are rumors of a sequel to be called Spaceballs, The Schwartz Awakens, I have not been able to confirm that the sequel is in production, and so at this time, I'm going to hold off adopting it as my campaign slogan. You know, as I survey this room, I see some of you who I have known and worked with for decades, and others I've known for only a few months. Yet whether long or short term, most of you in this room and I have meaningful connections. And our relationships, and what I have learned from many of you, have in great measure given shape and color to my views about what is right, what is fair, what is important, and the type of judge I hope to be. I am overwhelmed by the abundance of support and encouragement you have given me, and I assure each of you, I am fully committed to this race. I will continue to run a strong, enthusiastic, and disciplined campaign from now until Election Day. I appreciate all of you joining me tonight. I hope each of you will continue to support me and encourage those you know to do the same. Thank you.
Two last things. I want to just announce Supreme Court Justice Linda Jameson's here in the room. And representing Legislator Michael Grant, his lovely wife, Kathy Grant. That concludes the program. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Amigos, y cariñosamente estoy con la figura del momento, la persona galardonada esta noche, y él es cariñosamente Larry. How are you, Larry? Welcome to Aquí TV.
Thank you. I'm great.
Nosotros queremos, señores, que todos ustedes puedan conocer un poquito más a Larry así de una manera personal. Larry, tell us a little bit about your experience. After listening to your speech, I'm impressed.
Well, thank you. I've practiced law in Rockland County for over 30 years. I started my career out as a prosecutor in the Rockland County District Attorney's Office. I have been in private practice with the law firm of Schwartz and Silverstein, and I also am a member of the Rockland County Public Defender's Office.
Wow. Now, Larry, what can the community expect once you become elected as the county judge?
Well, the county court is where felony criminal cases are handled. And what the community can expect is that I will do my best to be as fair and impartial as I can, to hear what everyone has to say, to listen carefully, and to make as reasoned decisions as I can.
Well, as part of your commitment to the Latino community, we always try to encourage our young adults, especially those that are at risk, with a positive message every Saturday. So what can you tell those young Latinos that are listening to our show?
What I would like to say is the same thing I would say to young people of every group, which is become involved in your community and focus on your education. Because the more you know and the more things you know how to do, the bigger the world can be for you. And the limits of what you can accomplish with your life are less if you have more education, if you're more involved in your community, if you're more involved in the world around you, and you're more knowledgeable about what's going on.
Thank you, Larry. Señores, ya ustedes han escuchado de esta figura que solamente en sus palabras deja mucho que decir, así que esperamos que todos los latinos apoyen a este gran hombre que tiene una buena visión para nuestra comunidad. Thank you, Larry, for your time, and I just hope that all the audience of Aquí TV show can support you how you deserve. Thank you.
Thank you.